Well, hello, beautiful souls. Happy Tuesday, and welcome to Confessions of an Awakened Boss Lady. Today, we are going to go into the seeds and stories of my awakening. And this is my way of giving back, of sharing the different beliefs and conditioning that made up my journey towards this path of awakening, of stepping into my higher self. And it's an attempt to, give back and share the things that have been beliefs that are derailing, the beliefs that have been helpful, the beliefs that have been toxic, and how I've awakened from them and done my inner work to move upwards and forwards into a more elevated state. How I've looked at each one of the experiences in this journey as a way of learning and a precise piece of my life's path, right? Knowing that everything is happening for me. And I do this weekly because I feel like there's a lot out there where we're given the good stories, the success journeys, the heroines journeys of moving to what we consider is the happy ending, right? And I think there's a lot to be said in the strength that we as women could show in our struggles. I believe there's a lot to be said in how we evolve and in sharing our dark nights of the soul and in sharing the things about us that may be considered more shadow than light. So, this is my way of letting you in behind the veil and really getting a peek at what were some of the things that influenced me and my upcoming. So, as most of you know, I am a women's success catalyst. I spend a lot of my time helping women wake up, helping women break open, break off, or break free from things that are derailing them and limiting them. And I do that from a place of intuition and wisdom and really coming in from having been in a lot of these situations myself. So today I want to share another one of the sayings that I was brought up with by my ancestors and by the women in my family, and that sometimes became a part of who I was. And in this case, it's the opposite, right? I really didn't listen to this saying very often. So the one I'm bringing in today is vete al paso para que llegues rápido. Vete al paso para que llegues rápido. This was something that my grandmother would say, and all the women in my family would kind of say. It was a way of kind of letting me know to pace myself, right? The direct translation of this is go slow so you can get there fast, right? Go slow so you can get there fast. And it's a way of like asking a person to pace themselves, to take their time, to value the effort in the beginning of a stage so that you can get to that end line, to that finish line sooner. And for me, it's been such a gift for me to share these sayings that I grew up on. First of all, it's an homage to my heritage as an African Latina. It's an homage to my matriarchs, all the women that brought me up. It's an homage to my ancestors because some of these sayings, as you'll hear, are even coming from the men in my family and just the things that I heard growing up. And the piece that I want to highlight here in your work and in how I approach doing the inner work is we hear a lot and see a lot as we're growing up. And we make our own determination of what we're going to pick up and run with and what we're going to make our truth, and we make very distinctive determinations, like which ones are agreements that we're holding that are now part of who we are, which ones are a version of who we are. It's a belief that has been taken into our system as this is who I am now, right? This is my truth now. So a lot of times when we're first working together, what I ask women is to go back and look at what they heard and what they were taught about different areas and domains and quadrants of their lives. Like, I'll ask a woman, a lot of times when we're doing work on money mindset, right? What were you taught about money? What did you hear about money as you were growing up? Because these seeds and stories are the things that create who we are, right? Create the conditioned human being that we become, and create the beliefs and the patterns and the behaviors that we walk through life, experiencing. So this is a very important modeling of how to do your own inner work, by going in and looking at which elements are the pillars of your truth. So these sayings are very much pillars of my truth and my upbringing. And this particular one, which is vete al paso para que llegues rápido, which is go slow so that you can get there fast, or pace yourself, was one that I could honestly say I didn't pay a lot of attention to. Whenever I was told go slow so that you can get there faster, or whenever I was told pace yourself, I know and I remember I would distinctively in my mind, like the inner talk would be, nope, I don't have time for that. I want to go fast. Like the pace that I lived at as a boss lady, as someone that was driven and that had like a clear thoughts around what I wanted to accomplish, my rhythm was like fast and furious. If I wasn't going fast and if I wasn't going furiously through my, to-do list and my action plan and my roadmap, I felt like I was procrastinating. It was that serious. I was either going at 100, or I felt like I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't doing enough. I wasn't at a competitive pace. And this is a funny thing because um this was a very masculine approach, which aligned to how I was doing everything, right? Everything that I was doing was very much on a structured and disciplined and determined, and very much fast paced and get it done. And it's about how fast, not, quantity, not quality. All those things that I picked up as my approach were very masculine oriented. So whenever someone told me pace yourself, I immediately thought that that was an unnecessary approach, right? That was not going to be my style. So I never really took on this approach. And I can tell you now, as I walk through life in this version, that I wish I had. And that it's definitely something that I do now, especially during these times where there's so much shifting and so much that is changing, in myself, in the universe, in my community, in my family, in who I am as, now the matriarch of my family. There is a need to pace myself. There is a need for me to really stop and go into stillness and accomplish a level of groundedness before making any decision. So today I can definitely tell you that one of the things that are part of my belief and my approach towards anything is give it a minute. Let's really sit and give some time to your process so that you could come from a place of awareness and being present and understanding your why and having clarity around your yes, and not just doing, doing, doing. Because the other version was very much about just getting into doership and getting into that hamster wheel where I thought that if I wasn't doing anything, nothing was being accomplished. And what I know today is that whenever I'm in creation mode and whenever I am giving birth to a new version of myself or to a new, program or to a new offer, which are all the things that we're working on, right? Even when I'm kind of cleaning up my niche and getting a feel for a deeper understanding of the person that I work with and desire to work with, a lot of that work comes from stopping, pausing, and going into stillness, going into receptivity, getting quiet and listening to that inner voice, listening to the wisdom and the intuition that now gets to be part of the creation process with me. So, although I spent all those years just going through life and going from action item to action item, right? And getting results, right? Because as a boss lady, there was success in my path, but there wasn't a success that came with satisfaction and fulfillment because I had skipped that step of really going inward, of slowing down and aligning to what was true to me, really understanding what pieces of me were a match to either this program or this project or this experience that I was about to step into. So, if there's anything that I would want to share about this particular saying, which is vete al paso para que llegues rápido, which is go slowly so that you can get there fast, is definitely incorporate that into your life during this time, especially. Because what I know from having spoken to many women on a daily basis is that we are experiencing a lot of awakening. We're experiencing a lot of claiming new yeses. We're experiencing expansion into new versions of ourselves. And that's all a beautiful thing to do. That's why we're all here, right? To tap into our purpose and to contribute from a place of mission-led, self-sourced women. And it does require slowing down and being okay with slowing down, which is that piece around giving yourself permission and having the self care and the self nurturing that is perfect to when you're creating the new. So if there's anything that would help you and guide you into the highest and most meaningful approach in this time, is to slow down and to give yourself an opportunity to tap in to what's true within you. And from that place, build what's next. From that place, create the plan, build the roadmap. And it may look like nothing's happening, like when you place a seed in the ground and nothing's happening. You don't even know if it's genuinely going to grow or become something, right? It's in the soil and no one sees anything. So the assumption is nothing is happening. If you're giving yourself the time to go inward, to listen, to connect with self, to go into receptivity and find what's true for you and gain that level of an awareness, that is the most important work. That is the strong foundation that will then give you the opportunity to build the biggest buildings and the biggest programs and projects. So there it is. That is my seed and story for today. Pace yourselves, take your time. Do not feed into what others may be calling procrastination if you're giving yourself the time to go in and check in with yourself. So I hope this serves you and this gives you a new perspective on what it looks like to create, what it looks like to build the new. And I'd love for this to become a dialogue. I'd love to hear from you, your thoughts around this share. And I'll see you again next week with my guest on Confessions of an Awakened Boss Lady. Have an amazing afternoon. Bye.